The parking lot security camera would later show exactly 4 minutes and 37 seconds between when Emma Rodriguez walked into the Riverside Mall food court and when 12 Harleys surrounded every exit. But Emma would remember it differently. She'd remember the way her hands shook holding the orange Julius cup, the way her best friend Jasmine kept asking if she was okay, the way she couldn't stop scanning faces in the crowd. Terrified she'd see him. You've been staring at that door for 10 minutes. Jasmine said gently. Talk to me? Emma's throat felt too tight. I can't. Was it Devin? Did he? Please don't. Emma's voice cracked. I just want to forget it happened. But forgetting was impossible when your body still remembered, when you could still smell his cologne, when you flinched every time someone walked behind you too closely. Jasmine leaned closer, her voice dropping. Emma, what did he do? The words stuck in Emma's throat like broken glass. How do you say it out loud? How do you make someone understand that the boy everyone loved, star quarterback, honor roll student, the guy parents called such a nice young man, had held you down the back of his car 2 nights ago and ignored every time you said stop? I'm fine, Emma whispered, the biggest lie she'd ever told. You're not fine. You haven't been fine since Friday night. Emma's hands clenched around the cup. She'd spent 2 days scrubbing her skin raw in the shower, 2 days unable to eat, 2 days of her mother asking what was wrong while Emma smiled and said nothing, because who would believe her? Devin Carter was untouchable. His father was a defense attorney. His mother sat on the school board. They had money, influence, lawyers who could make problems disappear. Emma was a 17-year-old scholarship student whose mom worked 2 jobs just to keep their apartment. She knew how the story ended. I need air, Emma said, standing abruptly. The food court suddenly felt suffocating. Too many people, too many sounds, too many memories of Devin's hands. Wait. But Emma was already walking, pushing through the crowd toward the exit. She just needed to breathe, just needed to. She stopped so suddenly that Jasmine nearly crashed into her back, because there, near the fountain, laughing with his football teammates, was Devin Carter. He looked perfect. Styled hair, expensive jacket, that smile that made teachers trust him and parents think he could do no wrong. He hadn't seen her yet. Emma's entire body locked up, fight or flight response. Her health teacher had called it, but Emma couldn't do either. She just froze. Is that... Jasmine's voice went hard. Is that him? Emma couldn't answer, couldn't move, couldn't do anything except stare at the boy who destroyed her. Then Devin's eyes found hers across the food court. His smile widened. He said something to his friends. They laughed. He started walking toward her. Jasmine grabbed her arm. We need to go. But Emma's feet wouldn't work. She watched Devin approach with that confident walk, that easy smile, like he owned the world and everyone in it. Hey, Emma, he said when he reached her, voice loud enough for nearby tables to hear. Didn't know you shopped here. How have you been? So casual, so friendly, like he hadn't, like Friday night didn't. Leave her alone, Jasmine said, stepping between them. Devin raised his hands in mock surrender. Whoa, hostile much. Just saying hi to friend. She's not your friend. That's not what she said Friday night. Devin's smile turned sharp. Right, Em? We had a great time. The words hit Emma like a physical blow. Her vision tunneled, her chest constricted. You! Jasmine's voice shook with rage. You piece of... Jazz, don't. Emma's voice came out barely a whisper. He's not worth it. Listen to your friend, Devin said. She's smart. He leaned closer, voice dropping. Smarter than making accusations about things that didn't happen. Because nobody's going to believe you, Emma. My dad's a lawyer. I've got witnesses who'll say you were all over me. So maybe think real carefully before you go telling stories. Emma felt something inside her shatter completely. He was right. Of course he was right. Who would believe her? Devin straightened, his public smile sliding back into place. Good seeing you girls. Take care. He walked away. Just like that. Confident. Untouchable. Emma's knees buckled. Jasmine caught her, holding her up. That's him, Emma whispered. That's the one who... On Friday night, after the party, he offered me a ride home, and I thought I was so stupid. Stop. Don't you dare blame yourself. He's right, though. Nobody will believe me. His dad will destroy me. They'll say I wanted it, that I'm lying, that I'm trying to ruin his life. Emma, I can't fight him, Jazz. I can't. The tears finally came, hot and shameful. I just want to forget it happened. Jasmine held her tighter. We need to tell someone. Who? The police? His dad's golfing buddies with half the department. School? His mom controls the board. My mom? She'll blame herself, maybe pull me from school to keep me safe. And we can't afford that. Then we tell someone who doesn't give a damn about his father's connections. Emma wiped her eyes. Like who? Jasmine's phone was already out. She typed quickly, hit send, then looked at Emma with something fierce in her eyes. Like my uncle. 15 minutes later, Emma sat on a bench outside the mall entrance, staring at nothing, while Jasmine paced nearby talking on her phone. Yeah, Riverside Mall, north entrance. No, she won't go to the cops, because the kid's dad is Gerald Carter, the defense attorney. Yeah, that Carter, Uncle Rafe. She's 17 and scared, and that piece of shit just threatened her in the middle of the food court. Emma barely registered the words. She felt numb, empty, like she was watching her life from outside her body. The rumble started low and distant. Emma didn't notice at first. Then it got louder, deeper, the sound of multiple engines, big ones, powerful ones, coming closer. Jasmine stopped talking. They're here. Who's here? Emma looked up just as 12 motorcycles rolled into the mall parking lot in a tight formation. Harleys, all of them, chrome gleaming in the afternoon sun. The riders wore leather vests with patches, full beards, arms covered in tattoos. The lead rider cut his engine and swung off his bike. He was huge, 6'4" easily, broad shoulders, graying beard, eyes that had seen things Emma couldn't imagine. His vest read Rafe over heart and road captain below it. He walked straight to Jasmine and pulled her into a bear hug. Hey, little bit. Uncle Rafe. Jasmine's voice cracked with relief. Rafe pulled back and looked at Emma. His expression shifted immediately. Something in her face must have told him everything he needed to know. He lowered himself onto the bench beside her, moving slowly like he was approaching a spooked animal. I'm Rafe, he said quietly. Jasmine's uncle. She says you need help. Emma couldn't find words. Her throat had closed up entirely. Emma, Jasmine said gently, kneeling in front of her, tell Uncle Rafe what happened. Please. I can't. Yes, you can. Rafe's voice was surprisingly gentle for such a large man. Whatever it is, kid, you can say it. Emma's hands fisted in her lap. His dad will. I don't give a damn about his dad. Rafe leaned forward, his eyes intense but kind. Tell me what happened. The words came out in a rush, broken and jumbled. The party. Devin offering a ride. Parking behind the old warehouse. His hands. Her saying no. Him not stopping. The way he'd smiled after, like it was nothing, like she wanted it. By the time Emma finished, she was crying so hard she could barely breathe. Rafe didn't interrupt, didn't ask invasive questions, just listened. When she was done, he was quiet for a long moment. Then he stood and walked to his bike. The other 11 riders had gathered close, and Emma realized they'd heard everything. They looked furious. Rafe pulled out his phone. Made a call. We got a situation. Yeah, Gerald Carter's kid. No, exactly that kind of situation. Riverside Mall, kids inside right now. He ended the call and looked at his riders. Devin Carter, inside. Who wants to have a conversation? All 11 hands went up. Wait. Emma stood on shaky legs. You can't. You'll get in trouble. He'll call the cops. Let him call. Rafe's smile was sharp. We're not going to touch him. We're just going to talk. Make sure he understands some things. Like what? Like what happens to boys who hurt girls and think they'll get away with it? Rafe looked at Jasmine. Stay with her. We'll be back. The 12 bikers walked into the mall in formation. Emma watched them go, her heart pounding. Uncle Rafe won't hurt him. Jasmine said. But Devin's about to learn a very important lesson about consequences. Inside the mall, Devin was still at the food court, holding court with his teammates, laughing about something on his phone. The laughter died when 12 bikers walked in. They didn't rush, didn't shout, just spread out in a loose circle around Devin's table, blocking every exit. Devin looked up, confusion flickering across his face. Can I help you? Rafe stepped forward. Devin Carter? Yeah. Devin's voice cracked slightly. Who's asking? Someone who just heard a very disturbing story about what you did Friday night. Devin's face went pale, then red. I don't know what you're talking about. No. Rafe crossed his arms. Let me refresh your memory. Girl named Emma. Back of your car. You didn't stop when she said stop. That's bullshit. Devin tried to sound confident, but his voice shook. We hooked up, that's it. She wanted it. That's a lie. Another biker spoke up, a woman with short gray hair and cold eyes. We all heard the real story. How you ignored her. How you threatened her just now. How you told her nobody would believe her. Devin stood abruptly, his chair scraping. You can't, my dad's a lawyer. You can't just come in here and what? Rafe stepped closer. We're having a conversation. That's legal, right? Your dad would know. Devin looked at his teammates for support, but they'd all backed away, suddenly very interested in their phones. Look, I don't want any trouble. Neither did Emma. Rafe's voice dropped lower, more dangerous. But you gave her trouble anyway. You hurt her, then you threatened her. Made her think she had no options. It's not like that. Then how is it? Another biker stepped forward. Because from where we're standing, you're a predator who thinks his daddy's money will protect him. Devin's eyes darted toward the exit. The bikers shifted, blocking it more completely. We're not going to hurt you, Rafe said. Though honestly, kid, you deserve it. Then what do you want? We want you to understand something very clearly. Rafe leaned in close enough that Devin flinched back. Emma Rodriguez is under our protection now. That means if you go near her again, if you call her, text her, look at her, even think about her, we'll know. You can't. We can, and we will. Rafe straightened. You're going to leave her alone. You're going to tell your friends to leave her alone. You're not going to tell any stories about what happened Friday night. Because if you do, if you try to hurt her reputation to save yours, we'll make sure everyone knows exactly what kind of boy you really are. Your dad can't protect you from the truth. The gray-haired woman spoke again. We got Emma's testimony. We got the clothes she wore that night. Hasn't washed them yet. Didn't know she should keep them, but she did. We've got witnesses who saw her condition after. And we got connections in 3 states who'll make sure this story spreads far and wide if you try to hurt her again. Devin's face had gone from red to white. You're threatening me. No. Rafe's smile was cold. We're making you a promise. You leave Emma alone, and this ends here. You bother her again in your football career, your college applications, your whole Golden Boy reputation. All of it disappears. Because nobody wants to draft a rapist. Devin. Nobody wants that scandal. I didn't. Save it. Rafe straightened. You've got a choice. Walk away clean, or keep digging until you hit bottom. What's it going to be? Devin's jaw clenched, his hands fisted. For a moment, Emma thought he might do something stupid. Then he grabbed his phone and practically ran toward the exit. The bikers let him go. But they didn't leave. They stayed at the food court, a visible presence, making sure Devin actually left the mall. 15 minutes later, they walked back out to find Emma still on the bench, looking smaller than ever. Rafe sat beside her again. He's gone, and he won't be coming back. What did you do? Had a conversation about respect and consequences. Rafe's voice softened. Emma, I need you to listen to me. What happened to you wasn't your fault. Not even a little bit. But no buts. He hurt you. That's on him. Only him. Rafe pulled a card from his vest. This is our club's information. And this, he wrote something on the back. This is a lawyer, friend of ours. She works with assault survivors. She'll take your case for free if you want to press charges. Emma stared at the card. I thought you said you'd handle it. We did handle the immediate threat, but handling him permanently? That takes the law. And you deserve justice, kid. Real justice. What if I'm not strong enough? Rafe smiled sadly. You walked away from that car Friday night. You survived 2 days of hell. You told your story even though you were terrified. You're plenty strong. Emma's phone buzzed. Then again, and again, she looked at the screen. Text messages from numbers she didn't recognize. Devin Carter is a predator. Pass it on. Know someone who goes to Lincoln High? Devin Carter assaulted a girl. Make sure everyone knows. If you see Devin Carter, avoid him. He's dangerous. Emma looked up at Rafe, stunned. What? Word travels fast, the gray-haired woman said with a satisfied smile. Especially when 12 biker clubs in 3 states decide someone needs to be held accountable. Jasmine's phone was buzzing too. She checked it and grinned. Check Instagram. Emma's hands shook as she opened the app. Her feed was filling up with posts, not about her, but about Devin. Warnings. Stories from other girls. Screenshots of texts where he'd been inappropriate. She wasn't alone. She'd never been alone. He destroyed evidence, Emma whispered. How can we prove? We've got your testimony, Rafe said. And we got something Devin doesn't know about yet. What? That warehouse where he parked? It's got security cameras. Owner's a friend of mine. We already pulled the footage from Friday night. Emma's breath caught. There's video? There's video of your car pulling in, of you trying to leave, of everything. Rafe's expression was grim. It's enough, if you want to use it. Emma looked at Jasmine, at Rafe, at the 11 other bikers who dropped everything to protect a girl they'd never met. For the first time in 2 days, she felt something other than fear and shame. She felt angry. I want to use it, Emma said, her voice stronger than it had been all day. I wanted to pay. Rafe nodded. Then let's make that happen. Over the next 3 hours, Emma sat in the bikers' clubhouse, a converted warehouse on the edge of town, and told her story to the lawyer Rafe had called, then to a detective who specialized in assault cases, then to a counselor who worked with survivors. Each time got a little easier. Each time, she was surrounded by people who believed her. The video from the warehouse showed everything. Devin's car, Emma trying to open the door, the way the car rocked. The timestamps proved how long she'd been trapped there. It was damning. By the time Emma's mother arrived, Jasmine had finally called her. The investigation was already underway. Mrs. Rodriguez pulled Emma into a crushing hug and didn't let go for a solid minute. Why didn't you tell me? She whispered. I was scared. I thought you'd be disappointed. Disappointed? Mija, I'm furious. But not at you. Never at you. Rafe appeared in the doorway. Mrs. Rodriguez, I'm Rafe. We spoke on the phone. Emma's mother looked at the massive biker, then at her daughter. You helped her. We protected her. That's what we do. Thank you. Mrs. Rodriguez's voice broke. Thank you for being there when I wasn't. Emma was never alone, Rafe said. She's got an entire community behind her now. Nobody's going to hurt her again. The trial took 6 months. Devin Carter's father hired the best defense attorney's money. Goodbye. They tried everything, claiming Emma had consented, that she pursued Devin, that she was lying for attention. But they couldn't explain the video. They couldn't explain Emma's torn clothing, kept as evidence. They couldn't explain the 3 other girls who came forward once they knew they weren't alone. Devin Carter was convicted on multiple counts and sentenced to 8 years. His football scholarship was revoked. His college acceptances were rescinded. His parents, standing in the community, collapsed. Emma testified at his sentencing. She looked Devin in the eye and told him exactly how he'd destroyed her sense of safety, how he'd made her doubt herself, how he'd tried to use his privilege to escape consequences. Then she told him he'd failed. You thought you'd get away with it, Emma said, her voice steady. You thought nobody would believe me. But you were wrong. I found people who believed me, who protected me, who made sure you faced justice. She looked at Rafe and the other bikers sitting in the gallery, their presence a solid wall of support. "You took so much from me," Emma continued, "but you didn't take everything. I'm still here. I'm still standing. And I'm going to be okay." After the sentencing, outside the courthouse, reporters swarmed. They wanted Emma's story, wanted to make her a symbol. Rafe stepped between them and her, his bulk blocking the cameras. "Give the kid some space," he growled. The reporters backed off. Emma looked up at him. "Thank you for everything. You did the hard part. You were brave enough to speak up. I wouldn't have spoken up without you." Rafe smiled. "Maybe, but you would have found someone eventually, because you're a survivor, Emma, and survivors always find their way." 6 months later, Emma started college. She was studying criminal justice, planning to become a victim's advocate. She wore a leather bracelet Rafe had given her, simple, with a small charm shaped like a motorcycle. "To remind you," he'd said, "that you're never alone, and that you're strong enough to help others find their voice too." On her dorm room wall, Emma kept a photo from the day of Devin's sentencing. She stood between Rafe and Jasmine, surrounded by 12 bikers who decided a teenage girl was worth protecting. She looked at it whenever she felt scared, whenever she doubted herself, whenever she wondered if speaking up had been worth it. It always was. Because sometimes justice doesn't come from the system. Sometimes it comes from 12 bikers who refuse to let predators hide behind privilege. Sometimes it comes from ordinary people who decide someone's worth protecting. And sometimes, when you find the courage to say he took advantage of me, the right people are listening, and they don't let him leave until he understands exactly what justice looks like. And that's how a terrified girl found her strength again. Because the right people chose to stand with her when it mattered most. Emma survived. Emma fought back. And Emma won. If the story moved you, Red Heart subscribe to The Healing Narrative, where real heroes rise, justice is reclaimed, and every voice matters. Bell turn on notifications, so you never miss the next story of courage, resilience, and human goodness. Backhand Dindex pointing down. Before you go, comment justice if you stand with survivors. Drop your city. Let's see how far Emma's message travels. Share this video with someone who needs strength today. This is The Healing Narrative, where pain becomes power, and no one faces darkness alone.